A fighting union. A rank and file, member-led, member-controlled union with a General Secretary on an average wage. Why not the General Secretary on the same money in Unite as the workers and members of Unite? Last summer, not swine flu was the big epidemic, it was occupations. It was Enfield, over there in Basildon, in Belfast, in Waterford, near where I live, it was a swimming bath.
All out!
Now these are the places that are going to be won or lost. Our struggle is where the fight is. We had Lindsay Oil, which was a tsunami of a fight back, and 100 jobs created in 5 days. 5 days of unofficial action. And that proved that a national strike in construction is possible. And that's what we should be demanding from our union, and our union should be delivering. Okay, this is a very important election year. We've had the general election and we know the result of that, and the cuts that we're all going to face is workers and pensioners, employed and unemployed. Which is why I say that the election for the Unite General Secretary, with a membership of 1.7 million, covering all regions of the country, all sectors of the workforce, is the single most important trade union election for decades, for generations. And the General Secretary who is elected will have to have the bravery and audacity to instill a confidence in those members to fight against the cuts that are coming and have come already for many people. Well, the policies of the union are very important, but I tell you what's more important than policies, it's actually carrying them out. You know, it's been our policy to repeal the anti-union legislation, which was brought in only 25 years ago by Thatcher and the Tories, brought about to shackle the unions, to stop us from taking action in support of anyone else. The law is so against working people, still there during the 3 terms of Labour governments. Now they're out of office, and the Condemn coalition has no intention of repealing those anti-union laws. So it's the policy of our union to repeal the anti-union legislation. But we've not put it into practice, we've not fought for it. We've had the odd campaign, but campaigns are fine, but we need a fight. So the policy of repeal of anti-union legislation, which leaves us vulnerable whilst we're criminalised for supporting other workers in struggle, needs to be a priority, not simply a policy.
This dispute will only be resolved through negotiation.
The other candidates in this election, they offer the experience of more of the same. Well, we need something very different, and that's what I've experienced through my life. I worked at Rolls-Royce for 30 years, shop steward, senior representative for 15 years, and then eventually Rolls-Royce decided to use the anti-union laws that had not been repealed to victimise me, sack me, trumped up charges. You know, the experience of the workplace, I think, is worth 1,000-fold of decades of being a full-time official, because you actually know where the problems are, how they affect people.
Willie, Willie, Willie! Out, out, out! Willie! Out! Willie! Out! Willie, Willie, Willie! Out, out, out!
I think from comments the city has made, you can see that our major investors stand fully behind us, because they recognise the need to make permanent structural change to the business, and that is what we're doing here. And we're absolutely determined to see this one through.
Good question about BA, but I tell you who would have pleased Willie Walsh more than this coalition, Cam Moran or Clegg, and that would have been Derek Simpson when he said that the 12 days of strike action that was announced and agreed by the strike committee BASA before Christmas was a bit over the top. If Willie Walsh wanted a signal, that was it. I'm sure he's overjoyed with Clegg, with Cameron and with Derek Simpson. But I'll tell you my anger was that no one else in our union, senior position, all of those candidates that want to be General Secretary, condemned the words of Derek Simpson. None of them. They never had the will, the wherewithal to challenge Simpson when he gave the green light for Willie Walsh to go for our members. Of course it's union busting. And by blinking in the eye of one judge who overturned the democratic will of thousands of our members on a technicality, by blinking in the eyes of that judge, we allowed Willie Walsh 3 months to organise a scabbing operation. There's now 50 or more of our members suspended by Willie Walsh during this dispute. At least 5 are sacked. The other candidates, apart from myself, are all very senior officials of the union. They all believe in appointments of officials rather than elections. And my way of thinking is that is control of the union for themselves. Whether they mean that or not, that's the net result. I want to be the candidate which is simply a member of the union. I'm not an official of the union, but the candidate which is of the members, for the members, just the same as the members, on an average wage, not 100,000 or more that all the other candidates would get if they were General Secretary, and have election of officials so the control of the union is with the members. That's where the fight's going to be. The struggle will be to save hospitals, save schools, save jobs, pay and pensions. And the election is upon us. The nominating periods will be the months of July and August, where branches and workplace reps will all have the opportunity to nominate a candidate. That will be followed by the 1.7 million members having their ballot papers, placing their cross in a box and their trust in faith in the candidate of their choice throughout the month of October, with November the 1st being the announcement date of the successful candidate and the new General Secretary for the biggest and potentially, I hope, we turn that potential in being the most powerful union in the country.